Hello, everybody. Again, I am Dwayne, and this is Bible Stories Revisited, where we revisit childhood Bible stories with a newfound perspective, I would say. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just put this intro in every video. This is for me. You know, I've went through this Bible before, but I want to go back and really look at these stories again that I was taught as a child, just with the new lens and the new perspective that I have. I am agnostic. Um, there could be something out there, but if there is, I just don't think it's this one. And yeah, like with each story, there will be certain points that I will be making because there are certain points that the stories will make, or like that, certain pastors will use in the stories. So I think I said the next one I would do would be Sodom and Gomorrah. So we will do that one, and that will be one video. Um, because it kind of skips around a little bit. Because in between that, pretty much we did something with Abraham. Not yet with the not yet with his son. We'll get to that soon. Um, we're on Lot, who is Abraham's brother. Now, Abraham sees these angels coming. I'm paraphrasing because I've read this story too many times. Tried to record it for the audio version, and 3 out of 3 times the file corrupted. So we are going to speed run this until we get to right where they're in Sodom and Gomorrah. So Abraham sees these two angels going with God, I think, and he's like, I've heard that Sodom and Gomorrah has been very wicked. So if it is wicked, I'm gonna just destroy the whole town. So then Abraham's like, oh snap! I'm pretty sure my brother is over there. God, you're not gonna just destroy the whole town. Like, what if there are righteous people within the town? Like, what if there are 50 people who are righteous in the town? Are you just gonna destroy the whole town? Even the 50 righteous people, even though they had nothing to do with the wickedness? So then, he's God, all knowing, all powerful, never changing his mind, all righteous, is like, you know, you have a point, Abraham. Because Abraham cooked. There's one verse I'll read. There's one verse I'll read because that man was cooking. He literally was like, will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 people in the city? Will you really sweep them away and not spare the place for the sake of 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be it from you. Talk your crap. Talk your stuff, Abraham. It's a shame that Abraham has to point this out to God. God is ready to kill. He's ready to get this out of the way just because of what he's heard, not what he already knows. Hmm. Let us continue. Um, so yeah, they have this haggle for a whole page going back and forth. God's like, fine. You have changed my mind, my creation. If you find 50, or, whoever finds 50 righteous people within the town, I will spare the whole town. So then Abraham said, now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, please do not get mad at me. But what if there's 45? If we're just 5 short, are you still going to destroy the whole town, God? So then God's like, once again, you have a point. It's insane that God wasn't just like, you know what? Maybe I'll just spare the righteous people and then anyone else who is wicked will leave. He didn't say that. He just went back and forth, and Abraham haggled it all the way down to 10. because I love that. That so I have I have already been as so bold as to speak to the Lord. Like it's it's literature, man, and like you know what I'm saying. I hate that. It can be entertaining if like you take the seriousness off of it, and like people use this story as like reasons to hate people in the LGBTQI other stuff community. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's right because this book ain't even like it's not even like. Of course, there are like we'll read the story, and I'm gonna have y'all have your opinion and see what you think about it because oh my gosh, I just have so much to say because there is a lot. So boom, Abraham haggles it down to 10, so the angels go into Sodom and Gomorrah. And this is where Lot, who is Abraham's brother, meets up with the angels. Now, they don't have phones, they don't have like telepathic mind reading, but for some reason or some way, he sees the angels who are in disguise as men and he recognizes them as angels and just immediately like bows down. That is always interesting to me because I'm like, if they're in disguise, how did you know they were angels if they didn't reveal themselves to you? But, anyways, like, that was weird to me. Like, unless he was just a hospitable man, I don't get that. But we shall start reading now. The two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face on the ground. My lords, he said, please turn aside to your servant's house, which is his house. You can wash your feet and spend the night, then go on your way early in the morning. So yeah, that's why I'm like he knows that they're angels, but they're in disguise. But hey, no, they answered. Like, we're not going to your crib, bro. We will spend the night in the square, which is like the middle of the town. But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all of the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. Now, I don't know how big this town is, but it's supposed to be one of the biggest towns. Not like a New York, but like a like regular sized town was considered huge back then because like it's not a lot of like highly condensed spots. So I'm guessing like word spread it around or something, but all the men are here around him, and both young and old. They called to Lot, where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we may know them or get to know them, which means we is trying to. I was gonna say Diddy them for some reason. I got to stop. I have to stop. But yeah, they want to smash. They all want to smash. Now, maybe if you don't look at this from a homophobic lens, you can think, huh, maybe all of these people want to, I don't know, assault this person they haven't met before with but no, you'll realize that God don't really care about consent. They're trying to make it seem, like oh, like it's foolish. It's so foolish that people take this seriously. Like you're really gonna think that gay people are just gonna all be in one town, and then when you pop up, they're like, "That's a straighty. We're gonna we're gonna raid this town at midnight. We're all gonna surround it. They all just think telepathically, like, oh my gosh. But yes, They ask to bring the new guys out so that they can smash. Um, so then, oh my gosh, I oh my gosh. Okay, take a breath because this is something. If y'all don't know what's next. So Lot went outside to meet with them and shut the door behind him. And he said, "No, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. Look, I have two daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them. But don't do anything to these men, for they have come under the protection of my roof." Now, let's just slowly unpack this, right? So Lot comes outside after, remember, he met these men today. Today. And I'm under the assumption he saw them and he just felt like a glow or something and knew that they were angels. So, but he says these men. So he's like, don't do anything to these men that I just met. Look, I have two daughters who are virgins. You can he wants every man to smash his daughters instead of two freaking men he just brought in that night. Oh my gosh, just saying that out loud is disgusting. It's nasty. And Pastor skipped right over this. Pastor's got the apologetics on deck for this, but it's like, yo, do you really want to use this as the example of the wicked person in the story? The men surrounding the town are. I'm making a lot more wicked for offering his daughters to these random men. He doesn't know the. Oh my gosh. Like, it's insane. It's actually insane. And it's like, yo, that's like a clear example of how women are looked at like property in the Bible. They're not looked at as people. He said, here, you can use these. Like, bro. And it's his daughters. But his daughters aren't done with this story yet, if y'all know what I mean. But we're gonna get there. Because I'm already getting disgusted thinking about it. So let's continue on. So the men refused. They said, "Get out of our way," they replied. "This fellow came here as a foreigner, and now he wants to play the judge? We'll treat you worse than them." They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door, but the men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old, with blindness, so that they could not find the door. So, like, yeah. And then the two men said to Lot, "Do you have anyone else here? Sons in law, sons or daughters? You know what I'm saying? Get them out of here, because we are going to destroy this place. The outcry to the Lord against his people is so great that he has sent us to destroy it." So yeah, sort of like that example with last episode where God be hearing the blood or something. Anyways, but yeah, there's a lot of back and forth that I don't want to get into where they're like talking about the specifics of where they need to hurry to. And this is interesting, right? Because these are two. I forgot. Because I'm gonna skip past this, but I'm gonna explain what happens. Pretty much, he had two sons that were set to marry his two daughters, which he was going to give up to be assaulted to the whole town for men he just met that night, by the way. But the men, for some reason, did not hear every single man around their spot banging on the door. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much. I be hyper focusing on shit. And once again, these people have never said they are angels. So when they wake up at like, I'm guessing 3 a.m. or something, or midnight, whatever, they're asleep. They wake up and you're told, remember, think of this as just a normal day. You're going to sleep, and then in the middle of the night, they wake someone, whoever's, in their crib, wakes you up and it's like, we have to leave town right now. God is going to burn this shit to the ground. We have to leave now. Two strangers are in my house, claim they are angels, and they have told us we have to leave right now. Are you getting up and carrying on with your day? Or are you going back to sleep talking about what is this dude talking about? So I don't blame I don't blame the brothers-in-law for not believing Lot and going back to sleep. Like they'll look at them like, see, the people like the brothers did not have faith, so they fell under the fate. Like you can really twist the stuff like how you want it to. Like that's why there's so much open for interpretation. So they're talking about where to go. I think they choose Czar as the end thing. So we are going to skip to when they're leaving, or by the time they reach Czar. Right? Okay. Making sure I skipped something or didn't skip anything. Okay. I'll start on, because this is Genesis 19 still. I'm starting on verse 21. Yeah, we'll start on 21. No, 23. 23. He said to him, very well, I will grant this request too. Talking about when they're going to the spot. So by the time they reached Zar, the sun had risen over the land. Then the Lord rained down burning sulfur on Sodom and Gomorrah from the Lord out of the heavens. Thus he overthrew those cities, the entire plain, destroying all those living in the cities and also the vegetation in the land. But I want you, this is one verse now, and this is going to be the last time you hear about Lot's wife. Are you ready? Now, people would make whole sermons trying to explain away why this happened, but this is all it says in the Bible. I'm mad because I shouldn't have skipped the thing because it explains a little bit, but we gotta really go through this just so y'all don't think I'm stretching anything out. Just so that this last line that I'm about to say about Lot's wife, y'all can't make up any excuses. So, boom. Lot spoke out to his sons-in-laws who were pledged to marry his daughters. He said, hurry, get out of this place because the Lord is about to destroy the city. But his sons-in-laws thought he was joking. With the coming down, the angels urged Lot, saying, hurry, take your wife and your two daughters who are here, or you will be swept away when the city is punished. When he hesitated, the men grabbed his hands and the hands of his wife and the two daughters and led them safely out of the city. For the Lord was merciful to them. As soon as they had brought them out, one of them said, flee for your lives, don't look back, and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains or you will be swept away. Now, I had to make sure I read that part because people will use this as justification for the next line. Now, when I hear run, don't look back, don't stop anywhere, that's literally what I think. When you think of the term run and don't look back, it means don't waste time. It means use your time wisely and take the least amount of time possible to leave. It doesn't mean I just had to read that so that we can reference this. So we're back at verse 26. Lot's wife's fate. It's real quick, but remember, they're leaving and they see all of, not they see, but they're out of the city and God randomly rains, not randomly, he was planning this. He rains sulfur, burning sulfur on the town and everything burns up. But Lot's wife looked back and she became a pillar of salt. Now, I remember when I was getting read this as a child, I definitely asked, I was like, why did she get turned into a pillar of salt? And I was like, what's a pillar of salt, first of all? He was like, it's like a statue. So I was like, okay, so why? Well, and I was told, like, you know what I'm saying, in the child's book or whatever, because I don't think it was like physically a Bible, but like it was like child's version of Bible. So I think they already explained certain stuff away. But he was pretty much like, well, God himself told them not to look back. But when you read it, it wasn't God. It was God's angels disguised as humans. And you could tell that they were humans because when the angels, you know what I'm saying, when the sons-in-law were there, they didn't believe them. They just were like, these are just two regular dudes. I'm going back to sleep, you know? So it's like, of course, you're hearing two dudes saying, get out of here, don't look back, all of that. But not one here was it saying, the Lord commanded you not to look back. That is very understandable. I can definitely see that. But it's a quick, hey, hurry up, get out of here. And when Lot's wife does a human reaction, because if you see something burning behind you, it is a human reaction to look back or look at what is flashing or something to make sure it's not a danger to you. That is a subconscious thing that we don't really have too much control over. Of course, you can like force yourself to ignore it, but they were under no rules that they were forbidden to look back from this or they would get punished. They said, hurry up and get out of here or you will be swept away, which is what I interpret as get up out of here or you will get caught up in this. So, and that's why the reason I was so hung up on that and I didn't just read the verse is because that's the last time you hear about Lot's wife. They don't mention her again. She just gets turned into a pillar of salt and they move on. Now, when I was read this as a child, bedtime story, I was always like, what happens next? And I think he just skipped straight to the Abraham story. But there's something that happens in between this before they go back to Abraham. And I'm smiling. It's because I didn't want to have to read this again. And I'm hoping that this is my last time reading this ever. Ever. I'm not gonna lie. I don't need to refresh my memory anymore about this. We're just gonna get past this. Y'all see how I'm acting, so y'all should already know viewer discretion is advised, okay? But this is the Bible. Remember, when I open this Bible, it says, if you are alone, depressed, addicted, stressed, cheated, experiencing conflict or temptation, considering something curious, needing peace, joy, comfort, purpose, forgiveness, God, read on. That's the first page of this Bible. But let's get it over with. So, I want to make this so fucking clear. I want to make this so freaking clear. They are in a town with people in it, and then Lot gets paranoid and they live in a cave. These people who are in the town don't stop existing, okay? Here we go. Here we go. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain. He saw the dense smoke rising from the land like smoke from a furnace. So when God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham, and he brought Lot out of the catastrophe and overthrew cities where Lot had lived. I just realized something because you know how I'm definitely going to continuously build the case that these people in the Bible don't look at women as actual human beings. God's deal with Lot was, no, with Abraham was that if he finds 10 righteous people in the land, he won't destroy it. That was pretty much the end of their deal. So they make it very clear when the angels do appear that every single man, young and old, appeared in the city and was trying to do the same thing. They didn't even think to consider doing an audit on any of the women in the city. God just seen, oh, every man is here trying to uh take away my angels or whatever. Can't I guess that's less than 10. I get to destroy stuff. That's God. But anyways, yeah, that is interesting. Like pointing that out. I'm really just stalling because I don't want to read this. This is only 6 verses, but let's just get it over with. Okay. So yeah, Abraham, you know what I'm saying? God remembered Abraham and still saved him through the angels, I guess. That's why they were like, hey, I don't care about the other people, but y'all got to get out of here because we made him something. I don't know. Not like he be keeping his promises. Like, that's not a continuous thing. But, yeah, I'm about to read this and get it over with. Okay. Lot and his daughters. Lot and his 2 daughters left Zar and settled in the mountains, for he was afraid to stay in Zar. He and his 2 daughters lived in a cave. One day, the older daughter said to the younger, our father is old, and there is no man around here to give us children, as is the custom all over the earth. Let's get our father to drink wine and then sleep with him and preserve our family line through our father. That night they got their father to drink wine, and the older daughter went in and slept with him. He was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. The next day, the older daughter said to the younger, last night I slept with my father. Let's get him to drink wine again tonight so we can preserve our family line through our father. So they got their father to drink wine that night also, and the younger daughter went in and slept with him again, as he was not aware of it when she lay down or when she got up. So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. God. The older daughter had a son. She named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites of today. The younger daughter also had a son and named him Ben-Ami, and he is the father of the Anamites of today. Now, there are a couple things I'm trying to point out here. We gonna get this done though, because I see the bro pulled up. So we're gonna try to make this quick. His daughters literally R-worded their father. They made it clear, trying to take all the blame off the father, that this was their daughter's thing. But it's still not right. And why is this in the Bible? The same story where they're trying to act like being gay is the worst thing ever. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But yeah, we gonna keep this moving. And I'll catch on the next video. We'll do Abraham and Isaac next. Maybe Hagar. I don't want to do Hagar, but we got to go through these. We got to point out why certain stuff is kind of wacky. Why, what I'm saying, certain things just don't work. We got to break this down piece by piece, layer by layer. Deconstruction. It's like, no. But yeah. Y'all be great. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, this is also why I kind of don't want to promote this, because I know eventually there will be Christians who see this and either give hate or maybe they'll give support, maybe you'll come back around. I don't want it to be one of those channels that. I just want to vent. That's it. So I hope y'all gave me that grace. I know some people won't, but I appreciate those who will. I appreciate those who listen and relate and feel that same way, because it makes me feel like I'm not crazy. But yeah, y'all be great, y'all be safe, and we'll be back to reading more of this stuff, Not even this stuff, just, what I'm saying? We gotta revisit these stories, with our new mindset. And if y'all want to join that mission, I would hope y'all subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Like the video. And yeah, that's it. Peace.